What's up, Vishy? I'm gonna make another little video about this irrigation program, and I've got on the Ninja Mock here, and I've tried to make a um, general user interface that would give a user a quick look at their system or systems. And you can see here the first home page. I think we need to kind of give an idea of what domains are doing. So earlier I told you about, we might have the Highway 145 domain, all the valves and pumps associated with this particular domain and the programs. All this is domain specific. And we could look at the other domains that are on the farm and what they are doing. And there might be too much overload maybe in this page, but I just kind of want to walk through it so that we kind of have an idea of how we can make this user interface really good. So let me switch over to this other screen. So when you first log on, I think the first thing, the question that a user is going to have is what is the domain doing? And I think there's three things that the domain could be doing. It could be in idle mode, which means we're kind of in a maybe an auto mode, and this is where we have a schedule made, but we're not currently running anything. So there may be programs that are queued, or a schedule that has programs that are queued, but nothing's actually running at the moment. The second state is running, so we have the queued up programs, and one is actually on. So we've come to the time period in which the schedule needed to run, and now that program is running, and then the third state is stopped. So the system stopped. There's no even if there was a program to run or maybe scheduled, it's not going to run because we have it off. This would almost be an off mode. So one thing that I'm not including in these three states is a manual mode, okay? And so to describe a manual mode, that would be a situation where maybe I want to test something, maybe I want to turn on a valve just to try it, or maybe I just want to run something. I want to cut on a pump and cut on a valve. So I'm not sure how we would want to integrate that particular mode. Maybe that happens. Maybe that can occur in an idle state, or maybe that could even occur in an off state. But generally, these are the three states that we're going to be in. So once you look at that, that's generally what the user is going to look at first is, are we on? Are we idle? And I've got a little yellow indicator here that says caution. The system may turn on automatically if the schedule is correct, or if we're scheduled, but we're not really running anything. We kind of have a start time here of when that schedule, maybe that needs to be down here, when that schedule is going to turn on. Then we have some general system attributes here, how many pounds are on the system, and what the flow is of that particular domain. So those are kind of some quick things that you can see. Where I think we need to figure out the additional parts of that display, and of course here's I just described the system attributes, that pressure and flow. There may be also something here we can say expected flow. And what this would do would add all the valve expected flows into one. They would add the valves that would open at the same time, and we would say, okay, we should be seeing 500 gallons per minute. Our actual flow might be 550 or so, something like that. That would if you were in the valve table, this would come from the valve table. So in the valve table, there will be a valve attribute called expected flows, and in that domain, in the schedule here. So let's say that we're running program 1. We would add up all the valves, in this case valve 33 and 34, their expected flow, maybe put that down here as to what we think it might be. So that's another system attribute. But these questions that I got next, I think this is where we get into how we want the user to interact with programs, how to order programs, what are in those programs. Maybe that's not necessarily in this dashboard display. So that's where I was saying we might be adding too many things. We might have too much in one dashboard, and we might not necessarily have to click to another page, but we could click to open up a dialog box, or maybe even hover to give us some attributes. So, for example, what program is running? And let me see if I can just drag this over here, make it easier. Sorry. That's my test videos. So what program is running? Maybe here we could highlight a program and say, this one is the one that's running. Also, would we want to put the program name, or do we want to just have a filler that just says 1 and you hover over it and it kind of shows you the time that program runs? So some things that we need to add in here: what program is running, how long does that program run, what program is going to run next. So here we kind of have their sequentially going through. It goes to program 1, program 2, then program 4, and this one it goes from program 2 to program 1 to program 3. So setting that sequential order. This is just saying what total programs are in the schedule. So not just showing what program's next, but also what are the total programs in this schedule. In Schedule 101, we have these 3 programs. There might be 10. There might be 6. So we would need to be able to display that, show which one is running and which one's next, maybe which ones have already run. And then the elements, what are the elements in this program? Obviously, we would generally just want to show what are the current elements running. That's kind of the idea that I had here, was that, especially in this one, chicken farm, this is supposed to be running. Maybe we're running program 2, and program 2 actually has pump 1, valve 8, and valve 3 on. One idea that I had was, let's say you were browsing this. If you click program 2, then maybe it shows those elements in program 2, and you click program 1, it shows those elements there. And then we could potentially have an add button to add or delete. But that's a lot for this just home page. And maybe we have a slide out. that would pull out and show us, let's click through our programs. And then it lists all the programs that are in there. And so we could create a new program, we could add elements to programs. But I will say it's nice to have a way to, let's say I'm running this schedule 103 and we're running program 2, and I decide, let me add something to program 1. What's the workflow for me to do that? Could I click program 1 and then I get a pop-up dialog box, and then I could say, all right, let's add some more valves, and then afterwards save it, and then now program 1's modified. One thing that we couldn't do would be to change a program that is currently running. Now, even though that this is running and we're not into program 3 yet, I could potentially, change that. And that would kind of define the general, dashboard layout of this system. One thing that we're going to want to do, though, also in this system is in the user interface is historical information. So I went through and I changed, maybe I changed a program or added a program, but in the end, what actually happened? If we just have the thing saved that I ran this schedule, things may have changed in the meantime about those programs. So having some kind of log of individual valves and pumps, so that I can click on a screen that shows maybe a valve history. When's the last time I ran that valve? How long did I run it for? Et cetera, et cetera. So I'll send you this stuff, but I just wanted to make a quick video. It might have been easier to hear it and to see it and, see me talk about that. But just figuring out, and this doesn't have to be how we actually do it, but I think in general on the home screen, we're going to want to list the domains and kind of break those out and give you a quick view of what's happening in those domains. So the schedule, the program, is it running, is it not? Quickly see what the system attributes are doing. Do we have pressure? Do we have flow? And these should be dynamically updating too. So that pressure should be kind of giving me an update of what's going on. Same for the flow, what's going on here. And then as this thing changes, as we move from program 1 to program 2, the system would do that. We see what elements are on and off. And then we also need a button. I don't know if we want these to be the buttons, but if I wanted to stop, like this is currently running, I want to stop this, and maybe I need to, click this button here to stop it or give it a go, that sort of thing. One thing to note let's say in this idle system, currently I have this thing scheduled for a certain time. It would be nice to right click and say run now, or click something and allow it to run now, or maybe even in the programs we say, all right, run this program now. And that would kind of be, that's where we kind of get into this realm of manual mode. It's not necessarily manual mode, it's just a way that you can jump into the program and quickly start or stop a function. Maybe we click idle. I'm not sure. I'm still tinkering with this idea of how this exactly needs to work. So check this video out and maybe look at it a couple times, see what you think, and let me know kind of your thoughts.